Oh my God. So I'm like, hey man, I'll take you in the back and make you cry, like make you scream, dude. Like, what are you talking about? But if I make it, we even. So I'm like, oh, all right. So I shoot, I make it, boom. He shot, he missed, bam. I said, so you got me 100? And he was like, bet. I'm like, all right. So I shot, I make it. He shot, he make it. So I'm like, you still owe me 100?
Yeah, that's the.
And so he like, no, we even. I'm like, I start laughing. I'm like, dude, you owe me.
Terence Crawford has once again taken shots at Floyd Mayweather during a live interview, calling him a clout chaser and a fighter who would bring easy money. This came after Floyd's recent tweets trying to call Crawford out for a fight. Floyd is a broke man trying to hate on my biggest win, looking for another big payday to fund his expensive lifestyle. I'm not interested in easy money grabs. When you watch his exhibition fights, you can tell he's past his prime.
When he presented himself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because
He also pointed out that Floyd is hard to like and has been trying to steal attention from him since his big win over Canelo. Crawford said Floyd isn't a good example for other fighters because there's nothing in his lifestyle worth following outside the ring, not even for the younger generation. Soon after Crawford's impressive victory over the weekend, where he defeated Canelo Alvarez to become the undisputed super middleweight champion, a new challenger appeared. But it's not one Crawford wants to face. 5-division world champion and Boxing Hall of Famer Floyd Mayweather, who's been looking to return to action, is now calling out Crawford, the 3-division undisputed champion.
Ball, and this dude just come over there and like bet 100. I'm like, what? He like bet 100 on what? He like shot for shot bet 100. So I'm like, so I make it. You
play the part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
What do you want to see?
Before the fight, Floyd chose not to predict the outcome or show any support for Terence "Bud" Crawford. But after Crawford's victory, he revealed his betting slip and the money he won, even though he could have backed Crawford beforehand. Later, he went on social media again to call Crawford out, but Crawford quickly fired back, dismissing him as delusional and drunk.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
Ilia Topuria could knock out Bud Crawford on first contact. Is there any truth to it? Why is it always the MMA guys gotta go box? It doesn't sell. James Toney and the UFC lost a whole bunch of money with it. If Ilia Topuria really could beat up Terence Crawford, why didn't he go into boxing? Ilia is our champion. After seeing Connor, who could not make an amateur Olympic team.
This happened after another incident on Saturday, the night of the fight. Topuria was upset that Crawford entered the ring to Canción del Mariachi from the movie Desperado, the same song Topuria uses for his Octagon walkout. Crawford, 37, brushed off the similarity during the post-fight press conference, but the UFC lightweight champion wasn't pleased and responded on social media. First he calls me drunk, then he walks out to my song, Topuria wrote on X. Crawford, whenever you want, I'll teach you how to dance that mariachi in the ring. And Canelo, I'll save a round for you after him.
When I looked at it, he came out in the southpaw stance and he took Canelo's jab away from him. As you know, if you take a fighter's jab away from them, then it's hard for them to really land. You force them to use one shot, and he forced them to use his backhand, his rear hand. Crawford was ready for the loop in the right hands. Crawford was ready for the body shot.
Carried the song out and performed tonight. I got Mexicans and Latinos on my side as well, so.
Did you know Ilia Topuria walks out to that song in the UFC?
You said what?
Ilia Topuria walks out to that song in the UFC.
Did he? Oh, good. Good for him.
Crawford not only brushed off Topuria's recent comments, but also called him a clout chaser who isn't even on Conor McGregor's level. I definitely think he's trying to chase clout, Crawford said on the Ariel Helwani show on Monday. He'd get in the ring with me just for a paycheck. That's what we all do it for, but honestly, I don't know what he's trying to do or what he's thinking. There's really nothing to even talk about. Crawford added that he's never watched Topuria fight and wondered why the UFC champion didn't mention wanting to fight him when they met at the UFC Performance Institute in Las Vegas a few months ago. When he saw me at the UFC, he came up to shake my hand and say what's up. I didn't even know who he was, Crawford said.
Crawford stated, I don't know who he is. Ilia's mad. It works every time, and Ilia went crazy. Ilia's just, you don't know who I met you at this. When Ilia responds with truth, when he brings the receipts and the facts, that's what you do when you're angry.
But then I see him online saying he'd knock me out in the first round and talking all this nonsense. If he really wanted to fight me, he could have said it right to my face. Hey man, I want to fight you. That's just fake. While boxing and MMA crossover fights can bring big paydays, Crawford said he sees no real value in facing El Matador and dismissed any comparison to the 2017 mega fight between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Conor McGregor. What money would I even make fighting him? Tell me that, Crawford said. He's nowhere close to Conor McGregor's level. Let's be real. Stop comparing them. I don't even know this guy. I've never seen him fight. And I watch a lot of MMA, maybe I just missed him.
None of it. He's like, who the f*** is that guy? He's not on my level. He's not on Conor McGregor's level. What the hell is going on? I mean, come on, let's be honest. Jake Paul's fighting Gervonta Davis. If that can happen, or him fighting Mike Tyson, if there's a world that we live in where that can go down and get watched by millions of people on...
Maybe he's a good fighter, I don't know. But honestly, I've never seen him fight. I've watched Conor McGregor plenty of times, and they're not even close to being on the same level. It didn't take long for the UFC star to respond, and he did it with a bold prediction about how their potential matchup would go. You say you're an MMA fan, but you don't even know who I am. Interesting, Topuria wrote on X. The first time we met, you told me good luck with my fight that week. Your memory fails you, and soon your chin will too. I'll represent the entire MMA community. The pound-for-pound #1 in real fights versus the pound-for-pound boxer.
Was always willing to risk it. Ilya, I believe, is willing to risk it. Ilya versus Crawford. Am I wasting my time talking to you guys about that? Maybe not. There's not yet something here, but there's not nothing here.
However, fellow boxer Shakur Stevenson recently made a bold prediction, saying Terence Crawford could be the one to beat an MMA fighter at his own game. During his appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Stevenson made some eye-catching comments, predicting that Crawford would dominate Topuria inside the octagon. He explained that Crawford's wrestling background from his younger days in Nebraska gives him the grappling skills needed to hold his own in mixed martial arts.
Gotta leave Bud alone. I think Bud Crawford is just different. In a boxing ring with him, bro, you're not gonna last more than one round, I don't think. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets in the UFC and beat the out of some guys too, because he got a great wrestling background.
I think that dude's just built different. Bud's bigger than Topuria, and I wouldn't count him out, Stevenson said. I wouldn't be surprised if, come fight night, and they do an MMA fight, Bud knocks him out or even chokes him out, something like that. It wouldn't shock me. Crawford's wrestling background is what led Stevenson to confidently predict that Crawford could actually submit Topuria if they ever met under MMA rules. While it might sound like typical fight talk, Stevenson's tone made it clear he truly believes Crawford's athletic ability and wrestling roots could carry over successfully into cage fighting.
Obviously, it was a great show today. I was curious about your entrance, how you came to choose that song in particular to walk out to.
Well, you know, it was part of my outfit. The outfit was inspired by the movie Desperado. As you see, I had the guitar and everything, and my great childhood friend, Rosendo Robles, he was the one that, you know, carried the song out.
Terence Crawford had the goddamn audacity to walk out to Ilya Topuria's Walkout song. I mean, what on earth is going on? How dare he? That is Ilya Topuria's song, okay? Ilya Topuria took exception to this in a very big way, and now these two are going back and forth. They are talking shit, and Crawford ain't.
Former two-division UFC champion Daniel Cormier, however, doesn't see that happening, and his reasoning makes sense. Cormier believes Topuria isn't on McGregor's level as a star yet. He also pointed out that fighters like Mayweather and Fury were skilled enough to carry McGregor and Ngannou, making those fights look competitive for the audience. But Cormier doesn't think Crawford would do the same in the ring. Speaking on the Good Guy and Bad Guy show, he said, "What Conor did by lasting as long as he did with Floyd Mayweather was some of the most surprising stuff I've ever seen in combat sports. Watching Francis Ngannou go the distance with Tyson Fury was just as shocking."
Hear that from someone like him.
I just was like, well, you know, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, you know, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. You know, one where he felt like he was at the best.
"I would have expected Tyson Fury to handle him the way Anthony Joshua did," Cormier said. "But I also think Floyd Mayweather and Tyson Fury know how to let someone stay in there just long enough to make the fight look competitive and keep fans entertained." He added that Ilya is following the McGregor playbook, but he doesn't yet have the same level of star power. Still, Cormier believes Crawford could actually gain something from fighting Topuria. "I think that's what's going to stop him from getting the fight," he said. But when you're Terence Crawford, and you've spent your whole career waiting for big moments, could an Ilia Topuria fight end up being the next big thing?
UFC world, Ilia Topuria says that if you guys ever boxed, he would knock you out based on the first punch.
That dude drunk, you know. Hey, you know, a lot of MMA guys, they drink a lot, so he must have been on that alcohol that day.
Who else is out there for Crawford to fight that could bring in a bigger audience than me? Topuria said, "There's actually more potential here than people think, especially since Bud respects the UFC and already knows who I am. He could have ignored me, but he didn't." While Topuria remains confident that he could shock the new undisputed super middleweight champion in a boxing match, Michael Chiesa told MMA Junkie.com he isn't a fan of the idea. "Absolutely not," Chiesa said.
Anybody who mother used to go outside and pay kids money to beat her son up. I'm paying y'all real cash money to beat my son, and nobody got the money. I'm betting on that guy.
You betting on that guy?
"We lost Conor McGregor after the Floyd Mayweather fight, and that's not what Zuffa boxing should aim for," Chiesa explained. "If we brought Topuria into that kind of situation, it would basically be the same pattern. Sure, anything can happen, but Floyd and Crawford are very different. I'm not saying Crawford can't promote a fight, but Floyd was a master at it."
Big star, UFC, Ilia Topuria, and fight with the number one boxer right now. If you can do that, why not do that?
We did see Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua.
And you think Topuria can fight with him?
I don't. You asked me straight up, I do not think so, because Crawford is not going to enter a fight.
He was great at throwing verbal jabs, joking around, and promoting himself. Bud, on the other hand, builds his name purely through fighting. He's just that good. Floyd was too. But Ilia isn't Conor. That was a one-of-a-kind moment. Peak Conor McGregor trash talk at its best. It was entertaining. I'm not saying Topuria isn't fun, but he doesn't have that same sharp tongue Conor had. For a fight like this to happen, it takes two stars from different worlds who know how to grab everyone's attention. UFC CEO Dana White has already made it clear that he doesn't want his fighters stepping into boxing. The only exception he ever made was back in 2017 for Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. Even though he's more involved in boxing promotion now, White's stance hasn't changed.
I've seen this guy fight, and I watch a lot of MMA.
Hey, guys, Bud is saying it ain't worth his time, but Ilia Topuria in this right now, guys, is winning. He's winning because he has them talking about him. And every time, Terence Crawford speaks Ilia's name, Ilia wins. That's another step closer to getting to...
Terence Crawford has also been warned by a former UFC champion and Hall of Famer to stay away from a fight with Ilia Topuria. Talk of a crossover bout between the two picked up after Crawford shocked the world last weekend by defeating undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez by unanimous decision. During his entrance at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas for the Netflix-streamed event, Crawford walked out to El Matador by Antonio Banderas, the same song Topuria uses in the UFC. Although the Omaha native later said his song choice was simply a tribute to Banderas and not aimed at Topuria, fans from both boxing and MMA saw it as a jab.
And tweets, if I were to face Terence Crawford in boxing, I would put him to sleep. Now, this was after Terence Crawford went on the Nelk Boys podcast. Kyle said, who do you think the best boxer in the UFC is? Have you seen Ilia? He goes, oh no, it's easily Cody Garbrandt.
Have you seen Topuria? Have you seen his fights recently?
Speculation about a possible super fight has grown even more since Crawford seems to have accomplished everything there is to achieve in boxing after his win over Alvarez. As his career nears its final stages, the temptation to take a big money fight with Topuria could be hard to resist. The crossover path has already been taken by stars like Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor and Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou, both of which brought massive paydays. But former UFC middleweight champion Michael Bisping has cautioned Crawford not to chase the money, warning that such a move could damage his legacy.
Interest in fighting him.
For what?
Money.
What money would I get out of fighting him? Tell me how much I'm gonna get out of fighting him.
Floyd made a lot, obviously, to fight Conor.
He's not nowhere near on the level of Conor McGregor. Let's be real, stop it. Don't ever compare him to Conor. Conor was...
When asked if Crawford needed to fight Topuria, Bisping firmly said, absolutely not. He noted that Crawford reportedly made around $50 million for his last fight and has already had an incredible career. He's undefeated and 37 years old. He doesn't need to chase so-called money fights, Bisping said. Reflecting on his own experience, Bisping mentioned turning down a crossover bout with social media star Jake Paul after retiring from the octagon. Crawford wouldn't want to risk his legacy by fighting Ilia Topuria. Just like when Jake Paul offered me a fight a few years ago, I wasn't interested. I'd already achieved everything I wanted, became a champion, and wasn't going to lower myself for that, he explained.
And Cody got them hands.
Obviously, Ilia, that's probably maybe ignited a beef, and Terence Crawford is wrong. Ilia Topuria is the best boxer in the UFC. Does this eventually set up an Ilia into boxing? If Ilia...
Like, you're not going to see a wild part of the fight. Crawford was just going to be too clean, too smooth, too fast, and just keep him at distance the whole time, 36 minutes. They wouldn't even sanction a 12-round fight for Ilia Topuria. He's never fought 36 minutes.
As respected as Topuria is for his achievements in MMA, a win over the Spanish fighter would do little to enhance Crawford's boxing legacy. On the other hand, facing El Matador in the UFC octagon likely wouldn't go well for Crawford, given his lack of formal MMA training. With UFC CEO Dana White now more involved in boxing after promoting Crawford's win over Alvarez, a fight between Bud and Topuria wouldn't be hard to set up. Still, it's a matchup that might not truly benefit either fighter's career.
Real wrestlers on some everyday shit. Cause Bud looked bigger than that guy. He got longer arms. I wouldn't be surprised come fight night if they do an MMA fight, if Bud done knocked him out, sleep, or choke.
But according to Chael Sonnen, Topuria has a rare quality similar to McGregor's, the willingness to take risks, which could make a fight with Crawford possible. Ilia will fight anyone. He's not afraid to take chances, Sonnen said. That's what made Conor special. So many people tried to imitate him, but they missed the real point. What set Conor apart was that he was willing to take the risk, Sonnen explained.
Conor McGregor fight a lot of times. It's night and day. You know it's night and day. Don't ever try to say they on this level. What are we talking about? We not talking about that. Tell that guy to, keep up the good work in his career.
He'd talk the talk, cut the promo, and actually step up when it was time to fight. There aren't many like that. Conor was always ready to take risks, and I think Ilia has that same mindset, Sonnen said. Ilia versus Crawford. Am I wasting my time even bringing it up? Maybe, maybe not. And that's it for now. For all the latest updates, highlights, and moments from the world of boxing, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you never miss new content. Until next time, peace out.